A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media bringing you another book review today, so cheers. Oh, as I always say, so fun, so fine. Now you might be wondering why I am not drinking my usual glass of whiskey while doing this book review. And there's a very good reason for that. Many videos ago, I reviewed a Bentley little book, I can't remember which one, and a little Plaguelandian out there asked me if I would review another Bentley little book. This was a particular Bentley little book. Now, to that Plaguelandian, you know who you are. So please, if you enjoyed the video, drop a comment down below. I would love to know what you thought of my opinions of the book that you recommended. Now, the reason it has taken so long for me to get around to this review is pretty much because it took me a long time to track this book down. This is an older book. I believe it came out in the 90s. Let me just check. 1996. Now, for those of you that don't know, let me just fix this up. When I was in high school, I loved reading horror books. Stephen King, Dean Koontz, Richard Lehman, even the British horror authors, James Herbert, Sean Hudson. Absolutely love that stuff. That's what got me into H.P. Lovecraft, to be perfectly honest with you. Bentley Little was an author that flew way under my radar. And I only just discovered him. There we go, that's a bit better. I only just discovered him a year or so ago. And that kind of pisses me off because I would have loved these books when I was in high school. Now, the book in question is called Dominion by Bentley Little. And the reason I am drinking red wine instead of my usual whiskey is because the book is set in the Napa Valley. And for those of you that know America, the Napa Valley is wine country. Looking at this cover and reading the back of the book, I literally had no idea what to expect. So when the story started to unfold, I was really taken aback. That's not to say it wasn't good. This book is fucking fantastic. I was just... It threw me for a curveball, basically. Now, we have really three main characters in this book. We have Dion, who has just moved to the Napa Valley with his mother. We have Penelope, who lives with her five mothers, and they run a winery that makes this specialty wine. And we have Kevin, who is Dion's first and best friend when Dion comes to the Napa Valley. There are other side characters. There's a lot of side characters. What horror novel isn't complete without a ton of side characters? But they're the three main ones. You could argue that Penelope's mothers are also main characters. They play a big part in the story itself. I mean, they are basically the antagonists of this book. But it's basically about the resurrection of a Greek god and an entire town falling under his sway, basically. There are a lot of deaths in this book. There is a lot of gruesome scenes, which every good horror book really should have at least a few of them. There's some mythology involved here, and there's a really interesting theory about the Greek gods themselves, which I will try to explain when I do my spoiler-filled review. But if you don't want to know what happens, and certainly not in this introduction, I'm not giving away the ending or anything like that. But I will just say that Dion and Penelope, they have a purpose. And we'll just leave it at that. So if you don't want to hear any more, then by all means, stop the video now. Go watch another one of our videos. They're all freaking awesome. Of course, like, subscribe, leave a comment, whatever. But if you want to know what happens in Bentley Little's Dominion, and you can see this is a battered secondhand copy from a thrift book store, by all means, stick around for the next episode of...
Read a fucking book. Read a fucking book. Read a fucking book. People.
Okay. Now, a lot happened in this book. I'm going to gloss over things. I'm going to get some things mixed up. Between doing this review and finishing Dominion, I've read or have been reading at least 3 books and a ton of graphic novels. So please bear with me. If I get anything wrong, leave a comment down below. If I miss a key plot point, leave a message in the comment section below. So it starts with Dion and his mother Alice coming to Napa Valley. There seems to be some tension between them. Alice in the past has moved between jobs and she has a little bit of an alcohol dependency problem. And Dion's basically looking after her. So they get to the house and it's a nice house. Alice has a new job and Dion is basically left to his own devices. He goes to school. He meets Kevin. They have a little bit of a argument back and forth, but then they become friends as normally happens. He goes to Mr. Holloway's mythology class and sees Penelope for the first time, and he's basically smitten with her. Mr. Holloway's mythology class is a little too easy for him. He meets some of Kevin's other friends, this guy called Paul, who I believe is the son of the father of the church or something along those lines, I think. So there's a whole lot of stuff with Paul and Penelope meeting. Kevin is kind of hanging with Penelope's best friend, Vella. At the same time, we find out that Penelope's mothers basically run a winery where they sell this specific wine called Damian. And you can only get it through mail order. Like, that's how specific this wine is. Penelope has a very close relationship with one of her mothers, Mother Felice. She's a bit scared of Mother Margot, and then there's Mother Margaret, I believe, and Mother Janine might be the other one. And as she's growing up, they've told her stories about her father. And they said that her father was killed by a pack of wolves. She has pictures of her father, but not a lot of memories. Now, while this is going on, Alice comes home drunk. Dion's waiting for her. And she said she met some new friends. We don't know who those friends are. Dion and Penelope, and I'm skipping over a lot because there's murders here. The antique store owner gets brutally murdered. A couple that are making out in a car get murdered. A wine bottle they're slashed up with a broken wine bottle, and part of a wine bottle is left inside this guy. And a whole lot of weird shit is going on in this town. And this cop is trying to work out what is happening. While that is going on, there's a guy whose wife is dying in the hospital, and he doesn't know how to handle it, so he starts hitting the booze. At this point, and again, I am skipping a lot of this. At this point, we find out that this specialty Damian wine is now being sold in liquor stores, and everyone is buying it up. And it's basically making them go a little bit crazy. To the point where the guy whose wife is in hospital he snuck a bottle of this wine in, and he drinks it, and he's looking at his wife, and she's basically in a coma, and he starts to get a little bit horny, and he's looking at her mouth, and when the nurse comes in, he's basically forcing his wife in a coma to perform oral sex on him. Very disturbing scene, but very well written. Now, Penelope sees Mother Margot come home covered in blood, and she doesn't know what's happening. So she confides in Dion, and they go to investigate this field, and there's this statue and altar and shit like that. And they see her mothers are all kind of naked performing some ritual. They try to flee, but they can't. Penelope is captured, and Dion is also captured. And this is where the book goes completely off the rails, batshit, freaking crazy. Oh, I'm sorry. Between those points, Paul enlists Kevin and Dion because he hates his father. He wants to go burn his father's house down. And when they go there, they look in the window, and the priest is having sex with Mother Margot. And they kind of freak out. She sees them watching. They hightail it in a van. It's a creepy scene. So, the Penelope ends up getting away. And Dion, this ritual is performed on him because these women are what is known as, let me get the pronunciation right, Maenads. Maenads are the female worshippers of the Greek god Dionysus, who is the god of wine and revelry and rebirth. And Dion is actually has the DNA of Dionysus. So here's the interesting twist. The Greek gods left, but they hid their genetic makeup in human DNA, and that was passed down from person to person to person. And these Maenads have gotten together, and Dion's mother Alice is one of them. And they end up turning Dion into Dionysus. So he grows to like 9 feet tall. His thing gets bigger and all of this kind of stuff. Now, when Penny is racing away, the entire town who have been drinking this wine, I mean, they riot if they can't get a bottle of it. The entire town is going batshit crazy. They're fornicating, they're murdering, they're doing all sorts of sick stuff. There's bodies everywhere. And as she's fleeing, she runs into Kevin. And Kevin is unaffected. He's just been trying to fight off these fucking crazy people. So her and Kevin team up. They're trying to get out of town, but they can't. So they end up going to the only person who knows about Greek mythology, and that's Mr. Holloway. So they go there. Mr. Holloway is like got a shotgun at him, and they're like, no, we're cool. So he lets them in, and he reveals that he's part of this society called the Ovidians. And he takes them down into the basement of his house, and there's all of these like psycho conspiracy theory charts and shit about what's going on. He's a bit of an asshole character. He's a bit of a prick. So they hole out there and he says, listen, don't worry, there's a cop who's also on a video and I've called him and he's coming over, and this cop, Jack, who we've seen in the past, but I haven't mentioned him because there's so much going on. He comes over to Holloway's house and they're talking about what to do, and Penelope is, they're like, we've got to kill Dionysus, and Penelope's like, you can't, Dion is still in there somewhere. So they're making plans, and they're at the house for a while. And they're making these plans, and then one night, they're all asleep, but Penelope hears something, and she goes out to check, and she opens the front door, and it's her mother's, and they basically kidnap her and throw her into a van and drive off. So when Holloway and Kevin wake up, she's not there, and they start to freak out. The mothers are taking her to see Dionysus because Dion was in love with Penelope. Penelope was in love with Dion. Penelope can feel that she is also a maenad. And she wants Dion, but she doesn't want Dionysus. Kevin and Mr. Holloway make a plan to go and rescue her. But when they take Penelope to see Dionysus, and it's really sick, the description here, like dead babies filled with helium floating like balloons and all this weird, disgusting shit. There's bodies everywhere. There's people having sex with bodies. It's completely off the wall, but pure Bentley Little. She rejects Dionysus, and he is infuriated. And he's about to kill her, but then he says, just go, I don't want to see you again. As she is leaving, there's this bright flash of light, which we later find out he is starting to exhibit powers from the other Greek gods, and that was a bolt of lightning from Zeus, because he has all of their DNA inside of him. He's basically the keeper, and it's his job to sleep with women, and they will give birth to these new gods. She gets back to Mr. Holloway's house just as Holloway and Jack are filling up a car with supplies to come and rescue her. They get into this weird argument, and she asks, where's Jack? And Mr. Holloway says, we were downstairs making plans. He got into one of my bottles of wine, and we had to lock him in the bedroom because he's just going apeshit and he won't listen to anybody. And Penelope's like, he'll listen to me. And she goes down there and she goes to talk to him, but of course, no. So she goes back and they're in the living room, and they're like, get something to drink, something to eat, and whatever. And their big plan, they thought she was at the winery. So their big plan is to go and blow up the winery. And then they're talking about how can we kill Dionysus? And Penelope's still like, you can't kill him. Dion is still in there. And Mr. Holloway's, fuck that. We're gonna fucking kill this god. So the first part of the plan is they're going to go to the winery, blow it up to draw away the maenads from Dionysus, and then they're going to go confront Dionysus. So they go to the winery. There's a bunch of revelers out there doing weird shit. They break inside. They set all this stuff up. And as they're leaving, the entire winery just explodes. Penelope says we have to go confront Dionysus. I believe Holloway gets killed, gets ripped apart. Penelope says we have to go confront Dionysus. I have to pretend I'm drunk and go there, and then you come and we'll kill him. She takes her top off so she looks like a reveler, gets a bottle of wine, and they head to where Dionysus is. Only he's not there. They have to go to this other place, this new Olympus, so to speak, which is this hill that's all covered with rot and decay and things like that. In the meantime, Alice actually helps them out because she still believes Dion is her son. She gets them through. They get attacked by the other mothers, and Alice basically fights them all to death. So all of the Maenads are dead at this point, except for Penelope. Now, Mr. Holloway had a theory that the Maenads had power. Penelope has that power too. She just doesn't know how to unlock it. They get to Dionysus. Dionysus and Penelope have a back and forth, and he asks her, please kill me. I don't want to live like this. And she does. They basically fight, and she gets the inner Maenad power and rips him apart. The National Guard and everything come in afterwards, and they kind of cover it all up. There's so many dead bodies, like 3/4 of the town is dead. The rest of them have gone mad. And Kevin and Penelope, years later, end up getting married. And I believe at the end of the book, she's pregnant. And Kevin says to her, is there anything I can get? And she says, wine. I'd like some wine. And that's where the story ends. Now, I glossed over a lot of shit for two reasons. One, there was way too much happening. Two, some of the stuff was way darker than I actually thought it would be. This was a book I was reading on the train, and it got to a point, and I said out loud, without thinking about it, what the fuck? And then everyone around was just looking at me, and I went, oh, yes, that's right, I'm in public. And they know what that word means. So thank you, Little Plaguelandian, for recommending this. This was an absolutely fantastic read. Very hard to track down, however. I greatly recommend this. I greatly recommend any Bentley Little novel, and I greatly recommend Some Red Wine. So, what is coming up next? I believe Plaguelands Media are going to be doing a few more movie reviews. I have a ton of graphic novels over there that I have read but haven't had the time to review. Work has been absolutely busy. I am currently in the second book of the Seer King trilogy again. I have to review the first book, but too busy. Just don't have time. I'm very lucky I got time to review this one today because I have a lot on my plate. But there is a lot of fun stuff that will be coming up. I would say in the near future, but semester is winding down. I've got summer school, so a majority of this stuff won't be coming out maybe until August. We'll just be doing 1 and 2 here and there. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, especially you who recommended Dominion. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Oh, that's right. Drink some fucking wine, people. Ciao.